Welcome back, everybody. Before we get into the review, we're doing my continued shout-out to the Animal Rescue League of Boston. As I've said in previous videos, this is an organization that I love to support. They do a lot for homeless dogs, homeless cats, and various other critters, and I like to give them a shout-out during the Christmas season. So I'm leaving a link to their website down below. Please visit it. If you can donate, please do. If you can't, that's fine. Just please share the link. Let's do some good for homeless dogs and cats this holiday season.
Watch it, Alan. I'm shooting.
Storm of the Century.
You were with a whore in Boston when your mother died in Machias. Ma was in that crappy old nursing home they tore down last fall. The one where they found the rats in the pantry, right? She choked to death calling your name. Isn't that sweet?
When I was but a lad, there were quite a few made-for-TV miniseries based on the works of Stephen King. The Langoliers, the Tommyknockers, Rose Red, Salem's Lot, the Salem's Lot remake, the 2002 Carrie remake. Before we had the Bill Skarsgård It, we had the 1990 miniseries It. But then we have Storm of the Century, which is my favorite of the Stephen King miniseries. Not enough people talk about this one, and that's a shame because it's really good. The movie takes place in Littletall, a small island town off the coast of Maine, because Stephen King. This is your typical small town that you see in movies. Everyone knows everyone, everybody's business is known by everybody, no secrets in this town, or at least not until a little later.
How's little Pippa Hatcher?
Whoa, that was fast.
No secrets on the island.
She's fine. She got her head stuck in the stairs.
But this is a small town in a horror movie, which is one of the most dangerous places you can be. Seriously, small towns and bathrooms. Worst places to be in a horror movie. Anyway, the residents of Littletall Island are preparing for a massive winter storm. It's set up to be one of the biggest storms in a while. Whiteout snow, hurricane-force winds, it's gonna be bad.
Look at there at the mainland. Can't see over there no more. It's time to get in while you can. Can't even see the reach no more. Time to head down to the town hall.
As the town prepares for the storm, a strange man by the name of Andre Lenoge appears on the island. His first act when he arrives is murdering a sweet old lady.
Born in lust, turned to dust.
I beg your pardon?
Born in sin, come on in.
After he bashes this woman's brains out, he walks into her house, sits down in her chair, and waits for the police. He's eventually taken into custody by our main character, Constable Michael Anderson, and his deputy, Alton Hatcher.
Freeze! Raise your hands. Up over the chair. I want to see him clear as day.
Now the townsfolk have to deal with this massive winter storm and this strange man with supernatural abilities. He's constantly saying, "Give me what I want and I'll go away."
Give me what I want and I'll go away.
What is it you want?
For me, this is a perfect winter horror movie. It is a miniseries, so it's over 4 hours long, but during a cold winter night, I'm not going anywhere anyway. Storm of the Century takes place during a big winter storm, and it captures that winter feeling. I've hunkered down during blizzards before, and the movie has that mood of going through a blizzard. You can feel the cold while watching this flick.
What, are you gonna put him in there?
Not unless you want to get in the back seat with him and babysit.
Get in there, mister.
Storm of the Century is an ensemble movie, big cast. Out of all the Stephen King movies, I think this one seems the most like it takes place in a New England town. The way the film handles the goings-on in Littletall, you believe that this is a real place. It feels alive, and that's mainly because of the characters.
Kingsbury?
Well, I've got all my canned goods now. think there was a big storm coming, would you?
I just pray we don't lose the power.
The way they interact with each other and this snowy environment, as you get engrossed in the film, you get to know all these characters, even the minor ones, and then you start to recognize their faces. Oh, that's Mrs. Kingsbury. Oh, that's Tess Merchant. Hey, there's Davy Hopewell. There's Robbie Beals, Alton Hatcher, Ferd Andrews. You feel like a member of this community, which leads you to feeling betrayed when you learn their horrible secrets. And thus, we get to Andre Lenoge.
If he moves, shoot him.
If he shoots, he'll get us both. That thing's still loaded with buckshot. Also, he's still got the safety on.
One of the most underrated horror movie villains. If you want a charismatic villain that steals the whole show, I give you Andre Lenoge. Colm Feore plays Andre Lenoge, and his performance is great. The first thing we see him do is murder an old woman, then he walks into her house, sits in her chair, and starts drinking her tea.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout.
Andre Lenoge is a supernatural being. That's all we really know. Later on in the film, it's hinted at what he could be, but it's never actually revealed. For a good portion of the movie, he's locked up in jail, but he's in complete control. He knows everything about everybody, and he takes great pleasure in revealing people's sins.
Shut up. That fella just rubbed you guys the wrong way, didn't he? Had kind of a lisp, and that blonde hair, curly like a girl's hair, not to mention the way he walked. Still, 3 against 1. Pool cues.
He can move things with his mind. He can make people see things that aren't really there.
Robbie, why?
Why didn't you come to me? Why did you let me go and die with strangers?
And he has the ability to control people's minds. He uses this power to make people kill themselves or make them murder other people. And some of these deaths are pretty gruesome. Not graphic, mind you. This was a made-for-TV movie, rated PG-13, so a lot of the deaths are more suggested. But you're able to fill in the blanks. For example, when Lenoge makes one guy chop his face open with an axe. We see all we need to see, and then once we put the pieces together with our minds, it makes the deaths very gruesome. Throughout the film, Lenoge keeps saying, "Give me what I want and I'll go away." That creates intrigue. What does Lenoge want? Of course, as the movie goes along, it becomes pretty obvious what he wants. It's not revealed until closer to the end, but yeah, you have a good idea what this guy wants. That does not hurt the story, though. The suspense and intrigue come from seeing Lenoge do all these supernatural things, and the reason he's doing this is to show the townsfolk what he's capable of. That will make them more inclined to give him what he wants.
Born in sin? Come on in.
There's this great scene that happens shortly after Lenoge escapes from jail. About a night has passed, the townsfolk are taking shelter in the town hall, but it's morning now, and they're outside because they're watching their lighthouse. It's about to collapse. As they're watching this, people start disappearing. Imagine someone standing right next to you, and they're suddenly gone.
That's right, buddy, the lighthouse is gone! Hey, Ange, did you see it? Hey, Angie? Angela? Hey, did you?
Again, this was a made-for-TV miniseries that came out in 1999. When it originally aired, it was separated into a 3-night event, and I had a blast watching it. I have fond memories of this. I was a kid, and I was looking forward to this for weeks. Finally, during the event, I watched the first night, had a blast, Then I went to school the next morning, got home, got my homework done as quickly as possible, and then propped myself in front of the TV for the next night. I was a big fan of this thing. I owned it on VHS years ago, and whenever I watched it in separate shifts. But now I own it on DVD. I don't know if there's a Blu-ray release of this, and when re-watching it for this review, I kept in mind that this was over 4 hours long, and I had intended to watch it like I watched it in the past, separate it into 3 different sittings. The way it works is, you watch the first part, then it tells you to flip the disc over for part 2. I was shocked with how fast this movie went by. I was sitting there watching it, and then it got to the part where it said flip the disc over, and I said, wait, we're here already? So the pacing is very good. A 4-hour-long movie does not feel like 4 hours. I watched it all in one sitting.
Your town is full of adulterers, pedophiles, thieves, gluttons, murderers, bullies, scoundrels, and covetous morons. And I know every last one of them.
I think that's a testament to the effort put into this flick. The acting is really good. The setting is really good. There are moments where you get some cheesy CGI, and yeah, you're gonna get that in a 1990s made-for-TV movie, but there isn't much. And the miniatures in this movie are fantastic. Yes, there is some cartoony CGI, but for all the storm surge scenes, they use miniatures. The miniatures are great. The destruction is great. For me, Storm of the Century is the most underrated Stephen King miniseries, the most underrated Stephen King adaptation in general. We have a great villain, we have a good cast, we have a good setting, and we have an interesting story. When you're dealing with a cold winter's day, you don't want to leave the house, Storm of the Century is a good way to spend said winter day. And with that, let's get to the Grindhouse Rankings. We've got a body count of 11, but remember, this is a made-for-TV movie, so expect suggested kills and nothing too gory. The kills consist of, but are not limited to, hangings, axe to the face, freezing to death, and heads being bashed in with a cane. We have one of the most underappreciated Stephen King villains in Andre Lenoge, and yes, that's how his name is spelled in the movie. He's a fantastic, charismatic villain who steals the whole show. The winter setting gives you that feeling of hunkering down during a blizzard, perfect for a cold winter's night. There's a good cast in this flick. They bring the town to life and make you feel like you're a part of the community. I'm amazed by how good the pacing is. This is a 4-hour-long movie that goes by quickly. I'm also surprised by how much effort was put into the miniatures. The destruction scenes are great, and the story is very intriguing. I'm giving Storm of the Century a 4.8 out of 5. This is a damn good miniseries for Stephen King fans. Worth watching if you just want a good, solid story. As always, I want to thank everyone for watching and supporting my channel. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know your favorite Stephen King miniseries. This is the Maniac, here to remind you that the Grindhouse will never die. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Hold on, is that song copywritten? Maybe I should stop singing just to be on the safe side.